Hey everybody, good morning. It's Justice for Comics. It's Saturday morning, about 10 a.m. I'm going to be reviewing the CBSI Hot 10 comic list for the week ending June 23rd. This list comes out every Friday evening, produced and edited by our good friend Ben Stein. So let's jump into it. I'm going to give you my opinion on some of these books. For one reason or another, some of them are moving based on speculation, based on just good stories, all kinds of reasons. So yeah, let's dive into it here. We're going to look at the honorable mentions first. First one up is youthful romances. Again, Golden Age. These older Golden Age books just become more and more scarce as time goes on. A CGC 6.0 just sold for $1,600. Only 9 copies on the census. I'm not surprised. I don't think too many people care about youthful romances as a comic book, but makes total sense to me that there'd only be 9 on the census. Ben says the cover checks a lot of the Golden Age boxes, well, other than decapitation. Yeah, well, it kind of has a little bit of a vampire pose there going on. Yeah, totally not my thing. Would be a hard pass for me at $160, let alone $1,600. So, but hey, everyone has their collecting genre. The next one is Luna Snow #1. This is the young, how do you pronounce that name? I'll just say Cho. The Cho 1 in 25 variant. Going $80 raw. I don't know why this book is showing up. It's a Marvel book. It's a CD list character. It's a good, it's good cover art. I can see why people might like it, but again, Luna Snow, probably not a lot of shops ordering 25 copies. Probably not a lot of shops ordering 5 or 10 copies even. So, yeah, definitely is probably a pretty scarce book to find out there. All right, number 10 on the list is The Sickness #1. I like this book. I think I highlighted it a week or so ago when I did my new comic book day video on one of the Wednesdays. I mentioned that I picked this up and a couple of the variants. Midtown had the one in, obviously the regular A cover, which you're seeing there. They also had the 1 in 5 cover. I think there was a 1 in 15 and a 1 in 30. So they had all of those, except for that there was a 1 in 50 cover that they didn't have. And that book was impossible to find. None of the websites, the bigger websites like Midtown or My Comic Shop or Golden Apple, those are the 3 largest online stores in the country. There's no one bigger than those 3. And all 3 of them did not have that 1 in 50 variant. So the only way to have gotten it apparently was through the publisher's website. They have a shop tab on their website. And believe it or not, you could have picked up the 1 in 50 for $6 if you had known about it early. I wish I had, because that book's selling way over $100 at this point. In fact, probably $150 to $200 is the price range for the 1 in 50. And I mean, it's a beautiful cover. I'll show you real quick just so you can see it. By Jenna Cha, I think is her name. Maybe I typed it in wrong. Let's see here. Yeah, there it is. It's black and white. It's creepy. It's beautiful artwork. She's got a pretty cool website too, if you check it out. If you type in on Google Jenna Cha, she has her own her own website where she sells original artwork, and I think she's really good. She's got a nice style, definitely perfect for the horror genre. And this book looks awesome. Yeah, believe me, I've looked for it. I can't find it less than $100. I've looked. So if you happen to find it at a local comic book shop, which I highly, highly doubt, I would pick it up. Definitely, this book is going to have a second and third printing. I think the publisher already announced that they will have additional printings of that first issue. It is I think it's a 10 or 12 part miniseries. So it might have some legs, and the fact that it's been mentioned a couple times now on the Hot 10 list does bode well for it. So, yeah. I haven't read the story yet, but it looks interesting. It kind of looks like a typical apocalyptic world-ending type thing. Ben says, I have certainly no reason or intention to put books in the list that are not already selling well. This one keeps chugging along. Well, interesting artwork, good story. The formula is quite simple. I wish a lot of these comic book publishing companies would just study the formula. They can call me. I can tell them what will sell. It's not too hard. Yeah. Just give me a call, Marvel DC. I can help you out. This is a good example of a book that's just well made, well produced, and well drawn. Number 9 is Amazing Spider-Man. Misspelled there. Good job editing that. Ben needs to hire an editor. He's probably not paying attention as much. That one stands out, though. There's not 2 S's there in Spider-Man, sir. Steve Ditko, art, Kraven the Hunter. Their new trailer just dropped. I don't know what to think of the trailer. I have no idea if this movie will be good, but I can tell you the track record of all things Marvel lately has been pretty terrible. So I wouldn't, I don't know, wouldn't put a whole lot of faith in it. So this might be the time to sell this book. If you've got this in high grade, I mean, a 4.5 just sold for 1,050. Imagine what an 8 or an 8.5 or a 9 would sell for. So, the best time to sell a book if you're thinking about liquidating is right when a trailer is dropped. That's going to be typically the most hype, the most FOMO. People get emotionally drawn into wanting to buy that first appearance. So this would be the time to get rid of it if you have one that you're thinking about selling. All right, another familiar book that's been on the list many, many times in the past. Something is Killing the Children, number 1. 9/8s are back up to $800. I think they peaked around, what was it, $1,500? I think I remember them being around $1,500 at one point, or well over 1,000. I remember that. But I guess not too long ago, they fell down to around $600. There are 2,000 9.8s on the census. Yeah, that's a lot. It definitely, Boom Studios had pretty good print runs on that book. The 6th print is definitely one that if you want a rarer first copy, first issue, the 6th print is definitely probably the rarest of the first issues. I did pick one up recently, pretty cheap, around $400. So that was the best deal I've seen on that, and 9/8 copy too. So you can get a copy on that 6th print. That's definitely going to be your more rare issue of number 1. But nothing beats having the first print A cover, in my opinion. So still a good key book to have in your collection if you can have it. I've got a raw copy that's, I think, 9/8, but I'm not going to send it in for grading because you guys know the rule. I will buy a graded book if there's a good deal on one, but I don't typically grade books unless I'm looking to sell that particular book. And I'm not looking to sell my first copy, so I'm going to hold on to it in raw, mylighted protection condition, I guess is what I'm saying. Number 7 is Wonder Woman, number 799. Beautiful Raza cover. There is a regular Raza cover of this, but of course the foil, limited to 1,000, definitely makes this more attractive. I could see this book being $100 book at some point. So $40, $50, that's still a good deal in my opinion. I think I bought it pre-ordered. If I'm not mistaken, this was a Fan Expo convention exclusive. So you had to have purchased it either at the Fan Expo convention or pre-ordered through, there was a couple of websites that were pre-ordering it. I think East Coast Comics is the one I purchased it from. I think they had like a 2-pack deal where you got this cover and then you got the Harley Quinn. There was a Harley Quinn cover as well that came with it. I think the combination of both of them were like $40 or $50. So I'm happy with it. I should get that in the mail any moment. I think I just got shipping notification that it's on its way. Yeah, beautiful cover. Raza is a great artist. I've got a lot of Raza covers over the years, and this is definitely one of the best Wonder Woman covers I've seen in a long time. So I could see that going a lot higher. Number 6 is Coyotes #1, the second print. I remember owning this book back in the day. I didn't think much of it. Apparently, this thing is going to be developed into something. This book's going for $40 right now. There is a first print as well. I think it's the same cover. I don't know. I'm not chasing it. I don't think the story is all that compelling. If the story's not good, I don't think the movie's going to do good. So you can throw your money at it. I'll avoid it. Number 5 is Street Fighter 6 #1. This is the art term, limited to only 400 copies. Yeah, it's cool. I like the is that Chinese writing? I think it's Chinese. I believe her character is Chinese. Going for $120. Ben says, I heard that many of these copies were signed, making blue labels that much more desirable in the future. So congratulations to anybody that has that in their collection. Yeah, it's a cool cover. I like Art Germ. I think he does a nice job. It's a good one. Number 4 is Silk #1, the second print, 1 in 25 variant by Peach Momoko. Going for $50 to $75. Probably going for more than that. I think you're a little off there on the price. I think 80 to 100 is the range on that book. Midtown had a copy. It sold out. I think their copy went for $67. It sold out pretty quickly. I don't know who can pick these up for $25, but once in a while you'll see somebody grab one for $25. I've not seen it in a long time on a Marvel 1 in 25 second print variant, but yeah, it's a cool cover. I mean, Momoko has her fans. I think that's a good cover by her. And, you know, what is it, the 7th reboot of Silk? But that comic book still doesn't sell, but you know, they're going to keep rebooting it anyways. Number 3 is Amazing Spider-Man #41. First appearance of Rhino, classic John Romita cover. Of course, he just passed away. Condolences to him and to his family. Not to him, he's already dead, but to his family. Yeah, it's a classic book, and even low grade is going for pretty good money. I remember seeing a 7.5 for about $400 about 4 or 5 years ago. I should have bought it, but oh well. That book's gone up quite, as everything has, right? 6.5 selling for $1,100. I guess he's going to be showing up in the Craven movie, so that book should be moving for a little while here. Number 2 is Void Rivals #1. This is the Warren Johnson 1 in 100 variant. Obviously, they did not reveal the cover ahead of time. They didn't want people to know that the Transformers were involved in this. I don't think the cover is all that great, but this is definitely going to be a book that's going to be hot for a while. Maybe in a few months, you might see the price drop a little bit, but remember, they are rebooting. Image Comics is going to be publishing the Transformers and G.I. Joe comic books since Basically, IDW squandered it. Hanna-Barbera, is it Hanna-Barbera that owns whatever the production company that owns G.I. Joe and Transformers? I think it, not Hanna-Barbera. Is it Warner Brothers? I can't remember who owns them. But obviously, they decided to switch comic book publishers to Image. So Kirkman is going to be spearheading this. Obviously, the first Transformers and G.I. Joe reboot under the Image publishing logo is going to be probably a hot item, and that will probably drive this book up even higher. Although it's not first appearance of anything, it's just basically a reboot of the Transformers series with Image. So maybe look for this price of this book maybe to drop a little bit. I don't know. The pre-orders may not have been that big because it is an Image book. A lot of shops are not going to go 100 copies deep on an Image title. So there is a chance you could see a little bit of a price dip, but I don't know. I doubt it's going to go below $150. That would be a great pickup if you could get it for around $150. Give it some time. That probably won't happen for several months. But remember, near the end of the year, they're going to be rebooting Transformers and G.I. Joe under Image, and that's going to maybe drive some interest in this book again. So be aware of that. Number 1 is She-Hulk number 3. It's a cool Addie Granoff cover. I looked at a copy on eBay for $30. Problem is, man, this was, I think, 2014, 2015 when this book came out. You talk about finding really hard to find a high-grade copy, really hard. I'm sorry, 2004, what am I saying? Back in 2004, 2005 is what I meant. The paper quality was even worse than it is today. It's very difficult to find this in a high grade. So that $40 to $50 is probably for an 8.5 to an 8.0. I don't think any of the copies I saw on eBay were in the 9 range. So just be aware of that. Very difficult to find that in high grade. If you find a 9.8 copy out there for under $300, that would probably be a good buy. If this character has legs, if it matters that, yeah, they mentioned the origin of Spider-Boy, basically his alter ego is revealed in this book. I don't know, 20 years ago as a middle-aged man that died. How is this going to work exactly? So I don't know. Are they reconning the character? It's definitely a little risky. If you think Spider-Boy is the next Miles Morales, then maybe this book is still cheap. I don't know. But I kind of agree with Ben here. Tread very lightly. I do think it's a very risky proposition there, especially if you're spending big money on that book. All right, guys, that's your list. It's not a bad list. There's several in here. I like The Sickness. I like that obviously Something's Killing Children. It's one of my favorite titles. Wonder Woman 799, that Raza cover. I love that. That Art Germ cover, I wish I had it. I do like Art Germ artwork, and obviously I think the hype on it now is a little too high, but maybe 6 months from now you can find a deal on that type of book. Void Rivals, I think the wait on that might be worth it if you can wait a few months, see if the price dips a little bit. It may not, though. There is a lot of momentum on Image taking over those properties, the G.I. Joe and Transformer properties. So we'll have to see what happens. I know most of you are going to watch this in replay. Please like and share my video. Please leave a comment if you have any suggestions, anything I should have pointed out that I didn't. Leave that in the comments. I usually reply to all the comments. But there you go, guys. There's your list. I hope everyone's having a great weekend so far. I will be doing, I'm sorry I wasn't able to do a live stream on Thursday. I'm still unpacking a lot of boxes and finishing off the new house projects, and it's keeping me busy. But next week I should be back into a normal routine. Wednesday I'll be doing new comic book day videos highlighting the books that are coming out the next week, so it gives you a little bit of a preview. And of course I'll also be trying to do a Thursday night live stream, so you never know, I might pop in on somebody else's channel as well. I also need to get back into getting some artists on the channel. I'm also going to be incorporating maybe like every week. I might take like a 45-minute live stream of me doing some drawing. So I bought a nice little overhead camera to do that. That kind of gives me a split screen. So I may be incorporating that pretty soon. So stay tuned on that. You guys can maybe join me in a live stream and watch me produce some artwork. And maybe I'll do giveaways on the artwork. Um, if it's good enough, we'll see. We'll have to get comments as to whether it's good enough to give away. All right, guys. I hope you're having a great weekend. I'll see you soon.